Guys, I'm here at the Whitefire Theatre. I am so excited to be seeing Martha, the one-woman show tonight, and I get to interview the star of the show and the director afterwards, so let's go. Hi everyone, you're watching Ballerina Badass. My name is Georgia Reed, and tonight I had the pleasure of seeing a fantastic production called Martha, starring Christina Carlisi and directed by the fabulous Stewart J. Zully.
I am the Picasso of dance. I have revolutionized this art. I have moved my body in ways no one ever thought of, and I have done it on my body. A friend of mine said, "Martha, someday you'll realize that you're not immortal." I always thought she meant someday I would die. I didn't know she meant someday I would be old. Isn't it funny? You keep doing the same things you've always been doing, and suddenly it's scandalous because you're 70 instead of 40.
Now, you've trained and performed all over the world as a ballet dancer and modern dancer and jazz, I'm assuming, as well, all of that. What was it like coming to the Graham technique at this point?
Really hard.
Right? Graham's always
Really hard.
You know,
Yeah.
you've done Graham,
Oh
right, Stewart?
yeah, oh yeah. It's
Yes.
been years. It's been years.
You know, Stewart's my understudy.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. I started as a ballet dancer, and when I was younger, when I was starting out my professional career, I did not like Graham at all. And I think that now looking back, I think I didn't understand her. You know, when in the play, when I say every movement is a form of communication, and that is what Martha's whole foundation is, that every movement of her on stage is a form of some type of communication. It's why she didn't subscribe to ballet, really, because she thought it did not communicate. She thought, you know, for her, every movement comes from an emotion. You know, I can't think of another choreographer who an acting studio brought her in to work with the actors to help them get in touch with their emotions through their body.
That thing you keep saying in the play, which she said, which is, you know, movement never lies. And it's so interesting going into acting from a dancer's perspective and then going back into dance, and especially in the ballet world. I would love for another Martha to come along to bring that to the world, especially of ballet, because I think it would just elevate the art form to a whole new level.
It's the means by which you transform yourself into the character you hope to play. You make up your face as you think she might have looked. You dress your hair as you think she might have dressed hers. And then there comes a moment when she looks at you in the mirror and you realize that she's looking at you and recognizing you as herself.
What resources did you all use to prepare? I mean, of course, the play was written, but what did you look to for character development, and did you also do that as well, Stewart?
Well, you know, it's amazing now. I mean, now it's been a while, but YouTube is incredible. Yay, YouTube!
Yay, YouTube!
Yay, YouTube! But it really is. I mean, you can go in there and you just put in Martha Graham, and then there are interviews with her. There are people speaking about her. And then what's also been exciting about the run of the show is people have been attending who studied with Martha, knew her, were in her company, and that's been great.
So there was a critic who came sort of the middle of the run, and he said, "I have a little tip for you." He knew Martha Graham, and he said she always did this thing when she talked to her actors. She you know, instead of clapping or snapping,
but
she slaps her thigh and slaps her thigh, you know.
Yes.
So I said, "I'm stealing that," and he said, "You should."
It felt so visceral, that moment.
Yeah. So
great.
I read a lot. I read her autobiography. I read Agnes DeMille's biography on her. There's a wealth of information written about her. And then it was really interesting to read her autobiography, you know. And then at some point you just have to take all that in and then make it your own. Yeah.
Bringing you to it, there were just these moments where I felt like this must have been what it's like to be alone in a room with Martha Graham. Those moments when you're talking about we just sit there for hours. I remember reading that in her biography. It's like we'd sit there for hours and nothing would happen. We'd go home and come back and do it again.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand what it took for her to get to where she is.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I've had some dance teachers in my life. I mean, I haven't danced for a very long time, and I came back to it to do this.
Girl, you look good. Those feet, her feet, you guys, are fabulous. I mean, beautiful. That line, you like put it forward.
This? Wait a second.
Yes, of course. See, the shoes just show it off. But I mean, in your arm line, in your port abroad, everything, it's always there. It'll be there forever.
Genius is always difficult. You know, it's scary. And I've worked with I had a couple of teachers that were so brilliant, but it's like the more brilliant they were, the scarier they were.
The essential of dance is not in words, but is in movement. Now that movement is embodied in each one of us. Larry said a wonderful thing about dance one time to me. He said, Martha, everybody's born with genius, but most people only keep it a few minutes. And I think that is true. If you don't keep that intrinsic capacity, if you don't keep that attention to the slightest wind that blows, you have no place in the dance.
Being in the presence of that creative genius is, you just want to be near it. Even if it's abusive or scary, or you know it's maybe not the best thing for you, you want to be near it because it's scintillating. It's you don't find that.
It's
often.
inspiring.
You know, it's inspiring. You just want to assimilate it. She marched to the beat of a different drummer. You know, she believed. It's like the line in the play where I say, "If I leave, so will the art." You know, she believed that she was the conduit through which this kind of communication can only exist. And how can I choreograph on someone else's body? I can't. I am the vessel. And she believed that, and that's what made her so brilliant, and that's what made her so difficult, and that's what made her so enigmatic, and that's what made her Martha Graham, and that's what made her create until she was 91.
Amazing.
I mean, that's amazing. Maple Leaf Rag, she choreographed in her 80s. She'd been down. She had gone down for years and then
Really?
was resurrected. Yeah, the whole section where I have the flask and I'm...
Yeah, that was beautiful, by the way.
So that was our creation. That's not in the play. But I told Stewart, I said there was a significant part of her life where she turned to alcohol. And
no one talks about that.
No one
and
talks
they
about
need
it.
to.
Yeah, it's in the book. And they do need to because it's what she went through. And she came out of it. And that she created this masterpiece after that. And she wasn't 30. She was in her 80s. You know, so she was remarkable. Riddled with arthritis. Look at some of her later stuff. She has gloves because her hands are completely deformed.
One interesting point is that about the ego. I think in the performing arts, it's crucial to have this ego that drives you because you're constantly knocked down. You're constant, as an actor, actress, you're constantly, most of the time they say no. And you have to have that sense of will that drives you because most of the time you get knocked down. And it's that vision. And Martha had it for sure because she got knocked down. And, you know, and people said, stop dancing and everything else that they told her. And she just kept going like a phoenix.
Martha is playing at the Whitefire Theatre on Ventura Boulevard for the third Wednesday of each month for the next 2 months.
August 16th, September 20th.
And where's the best place to get tickets?
Really, it's called marthaSoloplay.brownpapertickets ballerina.com.
Well, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Thank you both for being here. I really appreciate
Thank
your
you,
time.
Georgia.
Yeah,
You're
it's great.
Thank
it's
you.
wonderful.
So you all know what to do. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, shade if you have to. I want to hear all of it. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. You all have been watching Ballerina Badass. My name is Georgia Reed. Never give up. Never stop dancing. I love you all. Toy, toy, toy.